Welcome to Media Beat on Mediabistro.com. I'm Danya Blaze, managing editor, and I have today Touré, who is, I don't even know how to introduce you, writer, TV host, cultural critic, tweeting beast.
Dad, husband.
Everything. Touré, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, speaking of Twitter, I follow you on Twitter.
I love Twitter.
And I did an sort of unscientific experiment yesterday. I watched your Twitter timeline for 30 minutes, and you know how they update at the top, how many new updates have been there since you went on the page? Guess how many new updates came in 30 minutes?
30?
36 tweets for 30 minutes time.
But that's just a moment that I happened to be on it and talking, and you know, if you'd picked another particular hour, it might have been 0 or it might have been 1.
Is it ever 0, Touré? It looks like you're tweeting all the time.
Sure, there must be some time when it's 0. I do sleep 5 or 6 hours a night.
One thing I've noticed that you do that not too many people try to do, but maybe don't do it as well, and that is you really get a conversation going. I mean, you have to constantly follow because you're replying, other people are chiming in. How do you do that? How do you get it to be not just random statements, but really just a conversation?
I seem to look at it as if I'm on a panel and there's thousands of people there and it's a Q&A type situation. So I make a statement that would relate to many people. I'm never going to say, Danya, are we going to go to dinner tonight or what have you. I'm going to make a generalized statement that relates to many, many people, right? And then, you know, I do want it to be conversational in that you can have an opinion back or an answer back to me. I can respond back to that. And there is an impulse to be ADD-ish on Twitter, right? To say one thing and then to move on. And I want to have a conversation. I want to spend 10 or 15 minutes and, you know, 10 or 20 tweets talking about one thing and drilling down on one idea. Look, I hate small talk.
Out of all the conversations you started on Twitter, is there one thing that you were surprised by the reaction by, or something that you just said, whoa, okay, I got to end this one?
We have 2 or 3 times I have done basically a major sort of seminar on tipping and restaurants.
Interesting.
And I have been shocked at the amount of dissension at the concept that when you go into a restaurant, you tip 20%, period. It doesn't matter if you think the service was imperfect or even bad. It doesn't really matter anything that you don't have the money to do it. You tip 20%, period.
Now, do you think that's a New York thing, though?
No,
because
that
in
is
other
no. It's not regional.
It's not.
It's national. Now, of course, there's a racial subtext to all of this because black people have a reputation for being bad tippers. And servers know this. When we get servers, waiters into the conversation, they'll confirm, yes, we all know that. Black and white will say that. So now whether or not that's true, I don't know. But that's the long-held, rock-solid perception. So some servers will give us bad service in anticipation that we're not going to tip. So then black people feel that I'm getting bad or poor service, and they will tip poorly. So now both sides are working on a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm like, well, we should be breaking that prophecy or that cycle.
All right, Touré on tipping and more. In part 2, we want to talk about the book.
Let's talk about the book.
Who's Afraid of Post-Blackness?
Nice.
Coming up on Media Beat, right here on Mediabistro.com. Stick around for part 2 with Touré.